For as long as humanity has existed, we have measured life through numbers. We count the years we've been here, the years we think we have left, and somewhere along the way, we decide that these numbers determine what is possible for us. But numbers are symbols, and symbols only have the power we give them. Age is not a wall. It is not a weight. It is a story, a perception, and the moment you change the story, you change what is available to you. When you look at a calendar, what do you really see? Days passing or opportunities forming? When society tells you that success belongs to the young or only arrives after a certain level of maturity, what is it really doing? It is programming the mind to accept limits. It is asking you to surrender your own timeline in exchange for a collective illusion. But awareness is freedom. And once you recognize that the only true limits are the ones you accept, time becomes your ally instead of your enemy. Age becomes a belief when you attach meaning to it. I'm too young to start, or I'm too old to begin. Those statements are not truth, they are internal contracts. They are identity statements disguised as logic. And identity shapes destiny. If you believe that success requires age, then you will wait. If you believe that age restricts success, then you will withdraw. But if you believe that you are timeless, capable, evolving, expanding, then suddenly time bends. Around your intention, there are people who have lived decades without ever stepping into their potential. Not because they lacked time, but because they lacked belief. And there are people who in a single year transformed their entire lives simply because they acted with conviction, regardless of age. The difference was never time. The difference was mindset. One believed time held them back. The other believed time could not stop them. Think of a seed. It carries infinite possibility within it, but it does not question whether it has sprouted too late or too early. It grows when nurtured. It thrives when conditions align. It expands when energy supports it. Your life, your purpose, your success, they do not unfold based on age. They unfold based on alignment, intention, and willingness. You do not bloom on a calendar. You bloom when you choose to water your potential instead of your doubt. Your brain is capable of rewiring itself across a lifetime. Your body can regenerate. Your identity can evolve. Science does not place a limit on transformation. It does not say you are done learning at 30, finished dreaming at 40, or meant to fade at 50. That is human belief, passed down by those who stopped believing in themselves and called it reality. But you have the power to reject inherited limitations. You can choose a new story, a new narrative, a new identity. Close your eyes and imagine a version of yourself untouched by age. A version that only feels passion, clarity, purpose, potential. No timeline, no comparison, no expectation. Only possibility. That version already exists inside you. It is not waiting for time to pass. It is waiting for you to release the belief that time controls you. Every day you wake up, you are not getting older. You are being given a new opportunity to become. Every sunrise is permission to evolve. Every breath is proof that life is still offering you potential. Age is data, but belief is power. When you say, "I am too young," what you are really saying is, "I am not ready." When you say, "I am too old," what you are really saying is, "I am afraid it's too late." But readiness is created. Courage is chosen, and a future is built by those who dare to move before they feel permission. The world does not reward the youngest or the oldest. It rewards the bold, the ones who transcend the limits others accept, the ones who decide that their dreams are more real than other people's opinions. So, if age is a belief, what belief will you choose? Will you choose the belief that keeps you trapped, waiting, shrinking? Or will you choose the belief that liberates you, that opens doors, that multiplies what is possible? You can rewrite your internal story right now. You can look at your age not as restriction, but as resource. Experience becomes power. Youth becomes energy. Time becomes opportunity. Every stage becomes expansion. When you refuse to let numbers define your destiny, every human life is shaped not by circumstances, not by age, not by the external world, but by the invisible narrative running inside the mind. We do not rise to our goals, we fall to our beliefs. And so many people live trapped not because life has denied them opportunity, but because their inner story has convinced them they aren't ready, aren't worthy, or that their time has passed. You aren't controlled by the years you've lived, you're controlled by the story you repeat about those years. And that story can be rewritten at any moment. When you were young, someone might have told you that success comes later, after experience, after proving yourself. And when you grew older, someone else might have told you success was reserved for the young, that your window closed without you even realizing it. These narratives are inherited, absorbed from society, from family beliefs, from culture, from fear disguised as wisdom. They enter your mind quietly, and over time they begin to feel like truth. But they are not truth, they are scripts. And scripts can be changed. Your brain does not operate from facts. It operates from meaning. The meaning you assign to your age determines the reality you live inside. If you say, "It's too late for me," then your brain will filter life through limitation, scanning for evidence that proves you right. If you say, "I'm too early, I need to wait," then your future remains suspended in hesitation. But if you say, "I am exactly where I need to be," then suddenly opportunity, intuition, and momentum begin to line up, because your mind starts seeing paths instead of walls. Every single action you take, every goal you chase, and every limit you break or obey comes from one core source, your identity. Not your age, not your circumstances, not your past. Your identity is the silent architect behind your future, shaping your behavior long before you realize it. You do not become successful because time passes. You become successful because you become the kind of person who magnetizes success. The world doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are being. Most people try to change their lives by changing their habits, their routines, or their plans. But they skip the foundation. It's not the habit that creates the person, it's the person who sustains the habit. You cannot permanently outperform the identity you hold about yourself. You cannot aim for greatness while identifying as someone who is limited by age, time, or missed opportunity. If deep inside, you see yourself as too late or too early, your actions will always align with hesitation, with waiting, with holding back. Identity always wins over intention. Look at the people who transformed their lives at an age. The world didn't expect the ones who created empires at 70, the ones who invented breakthroughs at 60, the ones who found purpose at 40, or the ones who built from nothing as teenagers. Their results did not come from age. They came from identity. They did not say, "I am too old," or "I am too young." They said, "I am becoming someone new. I am capable. I am meant for more." They didn't ask time for permission. They asked their identity for vision. Identity is a state of being. State creates reality. When you wake up and think, act, and feel like someone who is evolving, someone who is learning, someone who is rising, the world has no choice but to shift around you. Because the universe reflects back everything you hold as truth internally. If your internal voice says, "I'm behind," life will show you delay. If your inner identity says, "I am exactly where I need to be, and I am building momentum," life will open pathways you didn't see before. Who you think you are dictates how you respond to life. Two people can experience the same challenge. One gives up because they believe it proves they are not ready. The other grows because they believe it proves they are becoming stronger. The situation didn't define them, their identity did. Your identity determines whether you see obstacles or opportunities, whether you see time as a threat or a gift, whether you step forward in faith or retreat in doubt. So the question is not, what age are you? But who are you choosing to be? Are you choosing to be someone limited by an outdated narrative? Someone who waits for the perfect moment that never arrives? Or are you choosing to be someone who steps into possibility regardless of time, regardless of expectation, regardless of how the world decides success should look? Identity is shaped through repetition. The thoughts you rehearse, the emotions you feed, the standards you accept, they sculpt who you are becoming. Every time you say, "I am still becoming," you strengthen the identity of growth. Every time you say, "My best years are ahead," you reinforce the identity of expansion. Every time you step into action, instead of doubt, you build the identity of a creator instead of a dreamer. Imagine waking up and replacing self-judgment with self-intention. Instead of counting years, you count possibilities. Instead of asking, "Is it too late?" you ask, "Who do I want to become today?" Instead of carrying the weight of your past self, you embody the energy of your future self. That alignment changes everything. You begin thinking like someone who deserves success, working like someone who attracts success, and believing like someone who is destined for success, the future you admire, the life you imagine. The success you feel within your spirit, it is not somewhere far away on a timeline. It is right here, asking you to rise.